Today's lesson is on topic 5 review. How many solutions does the following system of equations have? 3y equals negative 5x plus 7 and 3x equals negative 5y minus 7. Take a second to copy down the question. When the question asks how many solutions does the system have, we need to find the slope and the y-intercept. There are three options. We can have the same slope and the same y-intercept. If that is the case, that means that there's going to be infinite solutions. If we have the same slope but different y-intercepts, that means we're going to have no solutions because our lines are parallel. If we have different slope and different or same y-intercept, that means we're going to have one solution. So we're not looking for the solution, we're just seeing how many solutions we'll have. So we have to find the slope and the y-intercept for each equation. My first equation, I have 3y equals negative 5x plus 7. I need to get this to be y equals, so I'm going to divide every term by 3. When I do that, I have y equals negative 5 over 3x plus 7 over 3. My slope is negative 5 over 3, and my y-intercept is 7 over 3. Since I'm just comparing them to the other equation, the exact number does not matter. Now for my other equation, I have 3x equals negative 5y minus 7. I need to get this to be y equals, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides. When I do that, I have 3x plus 7 equals negative 5y. Negative 7 plus 7 cancels out. Then I can divide every term by negative 5. I'm left with negative 3 over 5x minus 7 over 5 equals y. My slope here is negative 3 over 5, and my y-intercept is negative 7 over 5. Since I have different slopes, I have negative 5 over 3 and negative 3 over 5, those are different. And I have different y-intercepts, one's positive, one's negative. That means that there would be one solution. So this system of equations only has one solution. Solve the following system by graphing. Negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 8, and x plus y equals 5. Take a second to copy down the question and draw a quick sketch of a graph so we can graph it together. In order to graph these, I need to get them into y equals mx plus b form. I'm going to do that for my first equation first. I have negative 2y, so I can divide everything by negative 2. When I do that, my negative 2's cancel out, and I'm left with y equals 2x minus 4. My slope here is 2 over 1, or I can write it as negative 2 over negative 1. And my y-intercept is negative 4. So when I graph that, I'm going to start my graph at negative 4, and then I can go up 2 and to the right 1, up 2, and to the right 1. I'm going to do this all the way through until I cover every point on my graph. Now I can go the opposite, which is down 2, and to the left 1. And again, I'm going to cover every point on my graph. Now, I'm going to draw my line. It is going to go through all of those points. Make sure to put arrows at the end and label it. Label it with the original. So this is negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 8. Now I have to graph my other line. X plus y equals 5. I can subtract x to get this one to be y by itself. My x's cancel out. I'm left with y equals negative x plus 5. Here, my slope is negative 1 over positive 1, or I can write it as positive 1 over negative 1, and my y-intercept is 5. So now I'm going to graph that one. I'm going to start at 5 on my y-axis, and I could go down 1 to the right 1. And again, I'm going to do this, plot these points through my entire graph. Then I could go the opposite, which is up 1 and to the left 1. Now I'm going to draw my line through all of these points. Add my arrows at the end and label it. X plus y equals 5. Now for the solution, I need to circle the point where they intersect, and then I state the point as an xy. So it's 1, 2, 3, and up 2. So my solution is 3, 2. Tickets to a school play cost $3 for students and $8 for adults. On opening night, $1,000 was collected and 150 tickets sold. How many of each kind of ticket were sold? Write and solve a system of equations. Take a second to copy down the question. First, I'm going to identify my variables. I'm going to use X to represent the student tickets, and Y will represent the adult tickets. Now I'm going to use the information in my problem. The big thing to remember is that anything that has to do with money needs to stay together in the same equation. So since it's $3 for students, I can have 3 times the number of student tickets, which is X, plus $8 times the number of adult tickets, which is Y, and that will equal my total of 1,000 tickets. Notice that the 3, 8, and the 1,000 are all money. I'm also told that 150 tickets were sold. That means that the student tickets plus the adult tickets will equal to 150. Now I'm going to solve this equation. I'm going to solve it using substitution. To do that, I need to get my X or Y by itself. I can subtract Y from both sides in my second equation, and I'm left with X equals 150 minus Y. My top equation stayed the same as 3x plus 8y equals 1,000. Now, since this is x and 150 minus y is x, and I have x in my top equation, I can substitute into my top equation and have 3 parentheses 150 minus y plus 8y equals 1000. Now I just have to solve my equation. When I distribute my 3 times 150 is 450 minus 3y plus 8y equals 1000. Combine my like terms. Negative 3y plus 8y is 5y equals 1000. Subtract 450 from each side. $450 cancel out. I have 5y equals 1000 minus 450 is 550. Divide both sides by 5. Y equals 110. Now I also have to find what X is, or how many student tickets were sold. So I know, and I can write up top, that the adult tickets is 110. Now to find the student tickets, I can use either equation. I'm going to use the second equation because that's easier. X plus 110 equals 150. I can subtract 110 from each side and get X equals 40. So that means that the student tickets that were sold is 40. And the last question we're going to do. Sal and Ken go to the amusement park. Sal plays 5 rounds of mini golf and takes 4 turns in the batting cages for $60 total. Ken plays 3 rounds of mini golf and takes 6 turns in the batting cages for $45. Write and solve an equation to determine the cost of 1 game of mini golf and 1 round in the batting cages. Take a second to copy down the question. To start, again, I am going to label my variables. For this one, I'm going to say M is the cost of mini golf, and I'm going to use B as the cost of the batting cages. I'm going to write an equation for each person. So Sal comes first. Sal, we have 5 times the cost of the mini golf, which is 5M, plus his 4 turns in the batting cages would be 4B, equals 60. Now for Ken does 3 rounds of mini golf, so it'd be 3M, plus his 6 turns in the batting cages would be 6B, equals 45. Now, since each variable has an exponent with it, I'm going to solve this one using elimination. I look at my variables. The M, I have a 5 and a 3, so they're not the same. The B, I have a 4 and a 6. They are also not the same. So I'm going to multiply to get one of the variables to be the same. I'm going to get rid of the M, and I'm going to turn both M's to have a coefficient of 15. I can multiply this top equation by 3 on both sides, and I can multiply the bottom equation by 5 on both sides. Whenever you're doing this, you have to multiply both sides by the same number. So 3 times 5M is 15M, plus 3 times 4B is 12B, 60 times 3 is 180. 5 times 3m is 15m. 5 times 6b is 30b. And 45 times 5 is equal to 225. Now, my m's have the same number. They have the same coefficient. They are also both positive, so have the same sign. So same sign means I need to subtract. 15m minus 15m is 0m. 12b minus 30b is negative 18b. And 180 minus 225 is negative 45. Now the 0m I do not have to write, so I can just write this as negative 18b equals negative 45. I can divide both sides by negative 18 to solve this for b. When I do that, negative 45 divided by negative 18 is 2.5, or in this case, $2.50. So that is the cost of the batting cages, $2.50. Now I also have to find the cost of mini golf. I can use either equation. In this case, I'm going to pick the second one just because the numbers are smaller. I have 3m plus 6 times the 250 equals 45. When I do this to solve, my first step is to multiply 6 times $2.50. When I multiply that, I get 3m plus 15 equals 45. I'm going to solve this for m and subtract 15 from both sides. 15 minus 15 cancels out. I'm left with 3m equals 45 minus 15 is equal to 30. I divide both sides by 3. My 3's cancel out, and I'm left with m equals 10. So that means the cost of mini golf would be $10.